Hey Stampers, Diane Dimich here with ddStamps.com, and I want to welcome you to my stamp room tonight. I've got lots to show you, and I am shocked. I cannot believe my November, just a minute, I'm going to pull up the comments so I can see them. My November and December was absolutely crazy, and I don't think I've been unalive since, oh, my mic's kind of big here, that's all right. Hopefully you can hear me. Give me a thumbs up if you can, or a comment would be great. Anyway, yeah, so November and December were absolutely crazy, crazy, crazy. I traveled with my kids out to see my daughter that must have been in October. And then I ended up making an emergency trip back out to Oregon in November because my daughter's dog was not well. And then I actually ended up out there at Christmas because she couldn't come home because of her dog not being well, but the dog is well now and things are good, so that's good. Yay! Oh, good. You can hear me loud and clear. That's great. All right, so I have tons of stuff to show tonight. I'm going to actually do my tutorial for this month, but I want to show you some of the stuff. I actually got a box today, and I was really excited about the new virtual card making thing that Stampin' Up's doing. I was not going to do it, but I watched another Demonstrator's unboxing and thought, I better go take a second look. So I did, and that's what I got myself for Christmas, was the virtual card making, which is coming up the end of this month. But I'll talk a little bit about when I get there. So let me flip my camera. All right, so as you all know, the new mini catalog is live as of Tuesday. Lots of fun stuff in here, and we can now show the insides. I actually did a little catalog walkthrough. I love everything in here, I have to say. Oh, hi, Linda. But I wanted to talk a little bit about the stamps that are in here and the dies, because these don't do them justice. They're actually bigger and better in real life, but I'll show you that tonight. There's a lot of fun stuff in here. Also, we have online exclusives that came out, and those are all brand new too, and there's a lot of fun. So anyway, let me quick show you what I'm doing. So tonight we're working with Endless Love. This is the stamp set and the die set, and I want you to check out these dies because there's so many of them. Look at the size of that heart. I mean, really, this doesn't do it justice either because they're so tiny, but at least you know what's in the packet. I like that. But I love the size of the dies, and I love this little heart one. I'd use that quite a bit today. There's a sample in the catalog that caught my eye. All right, so it's that's how easily I get sucked in. Look at that with the hearts cut out. I think that's so cute. All right, so we're doing the Endless Love stamp set and dies. I did cut most of the stuff out I need tonight because I have not been feeling the best today, and I didn't want to have to get too stressed out. I'm also using this Hearts of Love embossing folder, which is a 3D embossing folder, and it's kind of fun. So that's what we're doing tonight. I better keep the stamp sets out here. Before I get started, though, I want to talk a little bit about the product of the month. So I got mine today. This is the product of the month for January. And I have to tell you, again, I was shocked at the size of the stamps. I didn't expect them to be that big. I don't know why, because I know that our new folders are big now. But when it came in my order, I was so happy to see that these are some good size stamps. And it's very interesting, the fonts that they use. So this is kind of new to us, but not new to Stampin' Up, but new to me, I should say. That it's very popular right now to use two different fonts together. So these actually, you can use, they call it a two-step stamp because you can use, you can use them together. So like this one says, "You're on my mind." You could actually use, there are simply no words for this. You can use them on the inside, you can use them on the outside, you can use them together. But if you haven't checked it out, product of the month is if you place an order of $75 or more, you are offered this. It comes up on your screen, big, bold, red, you qualified. You can order this for $5. And I think it's a good one. And the other thing I'm doing is I teamed up with some demonstrators, and we are going to do tutorials. So closer to the end of the month, because we all have to order this. We can't get this early as a demonstrator, but so now I have to go and make a project with it and do a tutorial for it. And at the end of the month, anybody that places a $75 order with me will get the tutorials. And I'm not sure how many there'll be. I think there's like 8 to 10 of us in the group. So I'm looking forward to that, to see what people do with their product of the month. Last month it was paper. It was True Blue paper. And that too is still available. If you did not get it last month and you decide you don't want the stamp set, you'd rather have the paper, you could do that this month until it runs out. All right. So the virtual card making, I have to show you this because this paper came. Oh, good, Joan. Glad you're here. So this is some of the papers in the virtual card, and I know we're coloring with this one. The virtual card making is, like I said, the end of January. It's a 2-day event. I believe it's on YouTube. And we're making, I think, 15 cards with envelopes and lots of different techniques. But I have to show you, this was the kicker for me. So this is one of the stamp sets, and it's only available as the virtual card making retreat. But I don't know, this one right here sucked me in. I love it. I love it, and I love the font. I love everything about this stamp set. And so I'm looking forward to playing with this. And then I didn't even really realize till today when I got it that you get this other stamp set called Forever Florals, which has some really fun fonts and sentiments in it, and then some more flowery stuff. So that comes in the kit. There's a lot. And then you get this, which I haven't even opened this. But this is the dies. Look at this one. Oh! And these frames, I can't wait to play with them. All right, so let's look at them, see what size they are, because I'm always shocked. So this is a big, huge one. It fills a front of a card. And then this is this middle piece is this one here. But I love the frames. They do have a little indent. I think it just indents. I don't know if it, well, maybe, I think it cuts. I think you get a frame and then the inside. That makes sense, doesn't it? Anyway, and then these pieces, which actually coordinate with this stamp set, to die cut out those. So this actually goes, this must be Forever Florals. Yeah, so this stamp set and this die set go together, and then this is just just a stamp set. But I'm looking forward to the virtual card day. So like I said, it's 2 days. All right. What else? I think that's it for now, and then I'll show samples afterwards. All right, so let's get into the stamping here. Let me grab the stamp set. I don't even know if it's clean. I'll be honest with you. Like, yeah, it's clean. It's just stained a little bit. All right, so this is the stamp set that I'm using. As you can see, it has lots of pink stain on it. I used a lot of red with it. If you don't like your stamps to get stained, what you can do is when you first get them, clean them, and then ink them up in Versamark, and then clean them again. And people tell me, obviously I don't do that, but people tell me that then the staining is minimal. All right, so this is the stamp set we're using. The first card we're making is pretty simple. It's just this card here. I used both Strawberry Slush and Flirty Flamingo for all of the cards that I did. I've got, like I said, I got my pieces cut and ready to go. Because actually, after I sent out my email that I was going live, I started thinking, I am not feeling the greatest. But I'm feeling better now. So it must have just needed a little bit of a rest this afternoon. I kind of hung out with the dogs for a while on the couch. All right, so I'm going to use Strawberry Slush, one of our ink colors. And I'm going to ink up this scratchy stamp. I think my dog is... oh, she came in. Good. She used the dog door. Yay. We put a dog door in for all the dogs. Put a big one in because my dog's the biggest. And then she wouldn't use it. But sometimes she does. So if I just not go out there. All right. Joan. Sorry. Had your shoulder replaced on the 29th and I'm working left-handed. Oh, boy. I'm glad that you're recovering. I hope that you're okay. That's kind of crazy. A shoulder, that sounds like something that could be very painful. I'm going to use this little heart background stamp because I think it's cute. And like I said, on this card, I just did a whole lot of stamping. But I also put some die cuts on there. All right, is there another heart? I love Strawberry Slush. I hope that when Stampin' Up! Does a color refresh, I don't know when they're doing one, but I know that they will because they always do, that we get Strawberry Slush in our line. All right, and so once I've done that, that's really the basics of what I did for the base of my card. Then, like I said earlier today, I actually cut out these little heart dies from this die. Cuts out a whole bunch. I've got them all kind of piled up here. I kind of just saved what I punched in the hopes that I would still have this pile sitting here. And I'm probably not going to use them all because some of them are so tiny. All right, this is where I need to bring out my take your pick tool, right, Joan? All right, so what I'm going to do is I'm just going to go ahead and just using a little bit of the green glue, add a couple dots, put some hearts on there. I do have some hearts in other colors sitting over here, but I wanted to keep this one monochromatic. Monochromatic just means that we're using all of one color. That's all. Doesn't mean anything more than that. So I am going to put a couple of these little tiny ones because they're so cute. Put a little dot there, a little dot there. See if wait till you see how little they are. Look at them. That's tiny. But they all get cut out with at the same time. I need my tweezers. There we go. All right. And then I need to put some up here too because it really does need it. So we'll just do this. A couple of little ones up here if I can grab them. But wait till you see the embellishments. They're the cutest. The embellishments to me in this kit was probably the best product in this whole mini. I love the mini catalog, don't get me wrong. I loved everything about that mini catalog, everything. There was not a whole lot that I didn't want. I didn't get it all yet. But these little embellishments, wait till I show them to you. Because I'm going to put some on this card. Let me do one more on that piece, on that glue I got up there. I really should have my take your pick tool out. And I could pick these up pretty easy. All right. Put the heart on there. And now I'll get the embellishments. Look at them. So they're kind of like a rubber feel to them. They got little envelopes that are adorable. They have hearts in real red, bubblegum, white. So I'm just going to go ahead and add some of those on here because we like lots of stuff. I'm just going to pull some out. So anyway, what I'm doing tonight is my tutorial for the month of January. If you place an order with me in the month of January, you will automatically get a thank you email from me with the PDF of all the projects that I do tonight. If your order is over $50, you will get oh wait, I'm going to put this one on there. You will get a packet of supplies from me to make the projects, everything but the stamping. Oh, that one's red. I just picked up a red one. Oh well. Anyways, you'll get a packet of supplies from me to make these projects. cardstock designer series paper, which I'm going to get into here next. So that's kind of fun. Like I said, if it's $75 order, you'll have the opportunity to purchase the product of the month. So yeah, it's just what I do to thank you for your support. Oh, there's little lips in here too. I got to show you that because I don't think I used any lips on my card. Can you see that little lip? I'll put it on this one. What the heck? All right, so there are the lips. So there is the decorated base. Now I have these two pieces because this one's going to say Valentine's as soon as I find the stamp set. You know, I set things down. Here it is. Let me wipe that off. This could be one of those nights. I'm going to be like, I almost stabbed myself earlier today with that. Anyway, it's going to be just one of those nights where I'm probably dropping stuff. Like I said, I don't feel like terrible enough to be in bed, but not 100% here today. All right, so there's the Valentine's, and I'm going to put this onto a layer of Strawberry Slush, one of my favorite colors. Strawberry Slush was a color from years ago that came back as an in color this year, and we were all so happy. It will be an in color for the next year too, because it could come for 2 years. And then, like I said, I'm hoping that we get a color refresh and Strawberry Slush becomes one of our colors again, because it's just a really good one. All right, so there is that. And then this is just going to go onto a basic white cardstock. I use the thick base. And I'm not even going to put it on with dimensionals. I'm just going to put it on. I kind of like that look of white on white with the frame on it. I don't know why, but just a really simple, easy card put together just with stamping and embellishments. So I kind of wanted to use a couple of different things tonight, not have everything be stamped or everything have designer series paper. All right, so the next card is this one here. Did I show you guys the paper? I don't think I did. So the paper, More to Love, is beautiful. I love it. So bright and bold and fun. And the colors are real red, flamingo, bubblegum. I don't know what else. All right, so this particular card, let me close this so I don't end up with Strawberry Slush all over everything. This is Flirty Flamingo. All right, so I'm going to bring in my pieces because, like I said, I cut them earlier. So I have an arrow, I have a label, I have this big heart. I did emboss this piece of cardstock and then the card base. I thought I had cut all the designer series paper today, but obviously I didn't because I didn't cut that paper, but that's all right. I have it here. I will get it cut. So we will put our embossed layer right over the whole top of the cardstock base. So it just covers up the whole base. I don't have a frame. Usually I have a frame around it. I don't this time. And you can see here where my piece that I embossed was probably a little bit cut, a little bit bigger than the other. So I could leave it that way, it's fine, or I could flip it over and just trim off the excess. And then people think I measured perfect, which I never do. So there's that. All right, so once you've got that, I'm going to go ahead and do some stamping on this and take this big love. One of the things about this particular stamp set is that these letters coordinate with one of our alphabet dies. So they're the same font. Might not be the same size, but they're the same font as our alphabet die. And I could pull it out and tell you what it is. I'll look a little bit later. Anyway, it's a good one. If you are like alphabets, this is a good one. Because you cut them all. Uh-oh. I didn't do a very good job. I think I need to ink up my pads. All right, I'm going to live on the edge, and I'm going to try to line this up again. One of the reasons I love photopolymer is that you can see, but when it's light pink, it's hard to see. Let's see how I did. Oh, 2 points. Yay, I won. All right, so love, and then we're going to do always. Today and always. No, yeah, sure, why not? It's hard to line those stamps up. Especially, like I said, when you're using such a light color. But I do love photopolymer for that reason. And if nothing else, I really should re-ink my pads. Maybe that should be my New Year's resolution. Is just spend an afternoon, wouldn't take me very long, and re-ink them all so that they all have ink in them. All right, so there's the stamping part. Then we have this arrow, but we're actually going to cut it. So I'm just going to cut it in half because it's going to come from this side and come out on this side. And so I'll probably attach this to the heart. This little Today and Always, I got to get the ribbon. Almost forgot the ribbon. So this is the ribbon that goes with this suite, and it's bubble bath. I think it's faux linen ribbon. It's very thin. It's like, is it 1/4 of an inch? 1/8 of an inch. It's very, very thin. It's definitely bubble bath. So I'm cut off some of this. I just set that aside, so now you know for sure I will be looking for it in my piles of stuff. All right, so I'm going to pull this through and tie it in a bow. This ribbon is really easy. It's very soft and pliable. It's very easy to tie. So yeah, when you get your kit from me, the card making kit that I send, I will send the ribbon too. So you'll get ribbon, embellishments, designer series paper, all the fun stuff, all the cardstock. Here, I'm just gonna cut that off. My scissors all need to be cleaned. Every pair I have is dull. All right, so anybody see my dimensionals? I know I've used them. How does that happen? I must just like toss stuff. Oh, they're right here. They're white up against a white light. Hard to find. All right, so a couple of dimensionals on the back of that. This is going to get placed on this heart. Like that. I'm going to add a little adhesive down here. And we'll put this piece on. Maybe I'll put it up higher. Nah, it's going to go there. Good enough. And then we'll come up to the top. Maybe. Make it look like it's going all the way through the heart. Okay, so there's that. Now, the paper that I'm going to use is, I'm going to grab my scraps here because that's what I want to use. So these are my scraps. So I just keep the scraps all inside the designer series paper thing. Okay, well I can't use this piece because my hearts are going this way. It's not long enough. So I have to grab this piece and a cutter. And I'm just going to do a couple of 1.5 inch strips. Measurements will be in your PDFs when you get them. I didn't print them out tonight because I didn't think I needed them because I thought I cut all my paper. But obviously I didn't. All right, so 2 strips of that, 1.5 inches. And then I need a little strip of this. Let me dig through. Maybe I'll use this. I'm going to use this instead because it's kind of fun. So this is just a 1/2 inch strip. Put that over there. See if this makes, oh yeah, it'll look good. Oh, come back here with that. Kind of not being very, all right, so these pieces are all 6 inches, I believe, but I'm going to cut them down to 5 1/4. Yeah, maybe I'll go even smaller. Maybe I'll go 5. Yeah, I'm going to go 5. And see, I just wing it. All right, so these are the pieces. Make sure my hearts are the right side up. All right, and I'm going to add them to this because this has some texture to it. I'm going to put the adhesive on these sheets because it's smooth. And if I tried to do it onto this sheet, because that went through the embossing folder, the fibers in the paper are kind of broken. And sometimes if you use an adhesive across it, it will pull the paper so that these are just overlapped. I don't know if you can see that. I think you can. Oh yeah, you can see that. So I just overlapped them with just a couple of strips. And this was actually because I had a couple of strips around and, oh, that would look cool too. No, I'll do the X's and O's. And this is just going to get placed right across the middle. And then we're going to take our little heart that we made and we're going to flip it over and we're going to find those dimensionals that I keep losing. We're going to put this on with dimensionals. Now here's where, if you wanted to put a dimensional like on the end of those arrows, might be a good idea. I did glue them and they're fine, they'll stay, but the dimensional will certainly make sure it stays. Now a little tip I got from a demonstrator on one of her lives. She doesn't take all these adhesive strips off of her dimensionals. I think it was a Stampin' Up employee actually. She leaves some of them on there, but I'm not kidding. She would have covered this whole thing with dimensionals. I have a tendency to take them off, but you don't have to because it's going to stick. And then we're going to add my heart on there. And then we're going to take our mono adhesive and add a couple of little embellishments. And to pull the same color that's in that ribbon, we do have it in the designer series paper too, which is nice. You barely see the little tiny hearts, but that color, that bubblegum color, is definitely in the designer series paper, the ribbon, and then these little embellishments. And so it kind of pulls it all together, makes a little triangle. There's card number 2. Just a lot of fun. This was a fun tutorial to do. All right, my next card uses lots of bubblegum and Flirty Flamingo, which I would never have put bubblegum and Flirty Flamingo together as one color, but I do like how this turned out. So I'm going to set this aside. Here's all my pieces, and I did do a lot, like I said, I did a lot of die cutting this afternoon just to save some time. So we're using a bubblegum, I don't know, is it called bubblegum? I keep calling it bubblegum. I think it is. Bubble bath. Oh well, it's bubble bath paper. All right, and then this paper is the Flirty Flamingo, which, like I said, I put these two together and I think, ooh, I don't know. However, you add this paper that has both those colors in there, these little arrows. Look at that side too. So this side is, what's it called when the colors change from light to dark? It's not monochromatic. It's called something else. Anyway, when you put this paper on there, then those colors blend together well. They look good. And then we're going to go really bold and we're going to put this big heart on there. And I think I'll put, oh, you know what? I didn't want to put this on there yet. Darn it. All right, so don't get carried away. Pull this off. We need to use ribbon. All right, so the ribbon. This time I'm going to actually wrap the ribbon around. So I'm going to take that ribbon, I'm going to go around my card twice. And then come back up here to tie it. Yeah, I got to clean those scissors. That's pretty bad. All right, so then I went around twice. You can, at this point, you can actually pull them all together. So you're kind of tying it together. Maybe. Like that. And we still have the opportunity to move my little bow. So for instance, if I wanted my bow to be farther down this way, you just scoot it that way because it'll all move. If you don't want it to move, let me try a different pair of scissors. Oh, much better. Put those up there. So when I ask where my scissors are, they're up in the corner up there. All right, so there you go. Now we've got a ribbon on there, and I really did want it to double up because I wanted that really to show that bubble bath color. Now we'll put this on my card base. And now that we've done the bubble bath ribbon with the bubble bath paper with the bubble bath cardstock and the Flirty Flamingo, it all goes well together. Now we're going to really jazz things up and we're going to pull in some real red with dimensionals. Here they are. Pull all those little papers off. Lift that up. We're going to go ahead and add our Valentine on there. And then we're going to take these are some die cuts that were in there. I did 2 in the Flirty Flamingo. And because they're so thin, I'm going to go ahead. I think I am, Joan. I'm going to do a re-inking, cleaning my scissors afternoon tomorrow. If I showed you my stamp room, you'd tell me I needed to clean that too. About the time I think, oh, I got it, look at it, looks good, everything's cleaned up, then I spend a day making a mess. I had it cleaned up for Christmas Eve because I had a whole bunch of people here Christmas Eve, and then I took off on Christmas Day for my daughters. And so it stayed clean while I was gone. And then I got home and panicked because I needed to start working on projects for the new year, and I really just have stuff everywhere. Not only in here, but I have it on my dining room table too. Okay, so we're going to take this little piece of basic white. We're going to stamp it up with the Flirty Flamingo, ink it up, stamp this in the middle. Perfect. Then we're going to get the stamps, and this time we're going to take and use Happy and Day. Put that over there for now. Let's do Happy first. These are so sticky, which is good. It means they're not full of dirt yet. Your room is as bad as mine, Joan? All right, so there's the Happy. You have an excuse, though. You have a new shoulder that you can't mess with. I don't have that excuse. Day. We'll do that down here. And we're going to go ahead and add this onto my card base here. And then these little X's and O's that come in the dies are cute. And I'm going to add those on. Just a little bit of the the multi-purpose glue. I do love this glue. I didn't always love this glue. However, once you learn to not be so heavy-handed with it, you just put a little bit goes a long way. Add a little XO on there, just for some cuteness, and that's it. Let me grab that die set that I was talking about, the alphabet set that I have. Hopefully I should be, here it is. So it's called Mini Alphabet Dies, and it's one big sheet. So it's one big sheet of letters, so like you get 2 A's, 2 E's, 2 O's, 2 of the vowels. You get all these little accents, which this is just because it's a set that can be used around the world. And then all the exclamation point, questions, ampersands, hashtags, commas, periods. So anyway, it coordinates great with this font in this Valentine card is the same font in the dies. So that's kind of cool. Anyway, I just want to show you that quick. I better put it back. I was just going to toss that in a pile. See, that's what happens. And then I toss it in a pile, and then the day comes around, and I'm like, oh, how does this happen? Let's slide that back in there. All right. So this card, I didn't even put any little embellishments on. I figured it had ribbon, it had these as embellishments, it was good to go. It had lots of designer series paper, lots of texture. So that's card number 3. Card number 4. This was one of my favorites. All right, so I used card base, real red, designer series paper. Let's just go ahead and put this on. The big thing I'm showing you here is those little envelopes that I made. And when you see how easy they are to make, you're going to be like, oh, anybody can do that. All right, and then this layer. So this is just 2 layers of designer series paper. Again, real red and Flirty Flamingo, who'd have thought, but I like the way it looks. So this is the card. And we're going to make those envelopes. So I made one earlier today because I wanted to make sure I had my measurements correctly, but I just folded it. So let me just open it and show you, and then I'll do one. So it's a 3x3 square. You can use any square of paper, any size square, depending on how big you want your envelope. I wanted them to be about this big. So you take the 2 sides, and I just folded them in, kind of got to the middle in the hopes that the sides were straight. But you know what? It's okay if it's not perfect. And then I folded the bottom one up, and you can see where I took in a little bit of the corner just so that it would have a flap that went up. Doesn't matter because this particular envelope I actually completely closed. So you're going to put a little bit of adhesive on there. Hold that down. And then a little bit of adhesive on here and hold that down. And then a little bit of adhesive right there at where they meet. And I add a little heart so it looks like a little sealed envelope. That's how quick and easy they are. All right, so there's one. Let me show you 2. Like I said, this card seemed like it was going to be the hardest, but it really was the easiest. All right, so I have a square, a 3x3 square. I can use either side. I'll do this side. So you take, like I don't score it or anything. I just take the corners and come together like that. And it doesn't have to be perfect. And then I'm going to fold this up, picking up that little corner there so that gets to the middle. And then we're going to add a little bit of adhesive. And again, it doesn't matter if you get adhesive on the inside of the envelope because this one we're not putting a little note in, but you certainly could, which would be kind of cute to tuck a little note inside there. Oh, and the other thing I did, I guess, is I took the point. If you don't like the point, I just folded it down. So I just went and kind of flattened it out. And there are your envelopes. That's how you make them. Very simple. All right, so then we're going to take our card. We're going to add this envelope. Oh, look. Picked up all my dimensional tapes. That's going to get put on there. This one's going to get put on there. Like I said, it's not perfect. It's okay. That's going to be on there. I like these little arrows. You get two. You get 2 dies, so you can cut them out or I think they're attached, and then they come apart when you take them out of the machine. We'll add some arrows to my card. Cute. Then I have these 2 strips of paper, and I have a tendency to save my strips of paper because we have a lot of sentiments. It's like these are 1/2-inch strips. We have a lot of sentiments that will just fit on strips of paper, and I seem to be, when I'm cutting cardstock, I'm always cutting off, like if I'm going to do for an inside of the card, I usually do it 4 by 5 1/4. And a lot of my cardstock is already cut in quarters. And so I just get a 1/2-inch strip so I can save a lot of them. Because like I said, a lot of our stuff works great on a 1/2-inch strip. All right, I'm going to pick up the saying. Keep it on the same stamp, it's fine. Sometimes I do this if I'm stamping a lot of things, and I will have 2 stamps on 1 block. And, oh, you know what? I'm going to do this in Strawberry Slush. Because I think the Flirty Flamingo is beautiful. However, I think with all the colors in this piece of cardstock, it's not going to pop. One of the things I will say is I've already inked this up in Flirty Flamingo, but because I'm going to put it into Strawberry Slush, which is a darker color, it's not going to contaminate my ink pad. Just make sure it's inked. Stamp it down. Yeah, I'm happy I did that. And then, Hugs and Kisses. One of the things I try to do with my tutorials is use up all the stamps that I can. As many as I can. And I came close on this one. Hugs and Kisses. Perfect. And then, I'm just going to trim that at an angle. And the reason I go at an angle is because I may not ever get it straight, and that way it's still going to work on my card. It looks like I meant to do that. All right, so I'm going to put adhesive on this side and add this onto the envelope. If I wanted to, which I might do, I could add a little dimensional on this end, which will just keep it lifted because we have that folded envelope there. So I did put a little dimensional on the back of that, and that will just hold it up. And then I'm going to do the same thing with this. I put a little adhesive on there. Add that to my envelope, like that. And then here's the best part. We're going to add some extra little envelopes because I think they're so cute. So these little embellishments would be great for shaker cards. I actually thought about doing that with this. And I still might before the end of the month. You never know. But the envelopes are so darn cute. And we'll add a little heart. These embellishments, a little goes a long way. There you have it. Look at how cute they are. Card number 4. All right. Let me clean up my mess because I do have some more stuff to show you. One of the things that I decided to do this month, so the products for last month's tutorial just came in today. So I will have those out and ready to go probably by, let's see, tomorrow's Friday. Excuse me, I might get them out in the mail Saturday. The other thing I plan to do with this one, because it is a Valentine's thing and it's kind of a time crunch, I'm going to send out anybody that places an order with me the first half of the month from now till the 15th, I will send the packet of supplies that week of the 15th. So you'll get it early, and then I'll do a second mailing at the end of the month for those people who ordered the second half of the month. They might get theirs a little bit later, but I'll have the supplies and ready to go. So another thing I wanted to mention is I do a Create With Me club every month, and this month's club uses this really fun set, which I left in the other room. Oh, no, I didn't. It is called, oh, I did leave it in the other room. All right, I'm going to show you the paper. So I'm using this embossing folder and this paper, Brushed with Beauty. Brushed with Beauty paper. It really is. It's gorgeous. This is really beautiful. Who knew that yellow would be so pretty? But let me show you the cards that we're making this month. So my Create With Me club, it's a monthly club. You can either get it once a month or one time, or you can do the subscription. The subscription's a better deal. And then if you do it for 6 months, you get a gift from me. And I've been sending out the birthday card kit because everybody needs birthday cards. It's kind of my goal this year, was to get more birthday cards done. And not only done, but mailed out. All right, so these are the cards that we're doing this month. You get enough supplies, cardstock cut into packets, embellishments, ribbon, half a pack of designer series paper, a full spool of ribbon, full pack of embellishments, envelopes. And I'll tell you that these I used Very Vanilla on, and I actually have enough Very Vanilla envelopes, because they're not available anymore in our catalog, to send them in my Create With Me kit. So your envelopes will coordinate great with your cards. 2 of each you get to make. But I just wanted to show them quickly. I'm going to show you how to make this double bow. It's pretty easy. I love this one. Kind of a fun, oh, here, let me get that piece of ribbon off there. You can tell I just got the ribbon today to put on them. This one's pretty. I just think it turned out really nice. I love the papers. So, and here's a little technique. Oh, there's some more ribbon. Here's a little technique with the embossing folder and some blends. So anyway, if you're interested in my club, visit my website and sign up. I love it. I know Ernie's in it. She loves it. I've got people in it that just, it's really fun to get a packet of supplies that are all going to coordinate together. Your cardstock's ready. You get a PDF, and you get me on video teaching you how to make the cards. I don't know if I have anything left. I probably do, but you know, I pulled out a bunch of stuff to show. Really want to talk about the online exclusives and I think that this is an online exclusive. Oh, you can't see it. I think that this Create With Me kit, it comes from an online exclusive. All right. I think that's it. I look forward, let's see, what am I doing next? I just did a bunch of cards for next month's club. And this weekend, I think I'm going to play with the Cute as a Bug and the Easter basket, the Easter bunny in the basket. That's so cute. All right, anybody have any questions? Now's the time to ask. If you don't have a catalog and you want one, you don't have a demonstrator, let me know. Send me an email, put a message in, and I will get you a catalog out in the mail. And if you haven't done so, check out the new stuff. And again, do not forget the product of the month, which is around here somewhere. Oh, I got to clean this room. All right. Anyway, I'm going to go. Thank you for meeting up with me early tonight. I usually did this at later, and I think this was better for me, even though, again, wasn't feeling well. I wasn't sure. But I will be back next Thursday with something fun. I'll be working on stuff this weekend. So hopefully I have a lot to show, and I will show you some kind of technique. We'll see. All right. Take care. Have a good night. Thanks, everybody.